speech. And it's with great joy. Welcome to the stage.
Is it possible that music can effectively add towards the recovery from a crippling illness? Yes. Music therapy is proven to be a reliable resource in the recovery towards illnesses of all types. So the definition of music therapy is the clinical and evidence-based use of music to help people reach their goals and to help them within a therapeutic relationship with a certified professional. Music therapy is useful for those that have health problems such as autism, mental health, and even with the elderly who have forms of Alzheimer's and things like that. So when did this happen? In the 1800s, Benjamin Rush was a psychiatrist and a physician. He's our earliest reference to music therapy. He had lots of help with other people who added in on his research, but music therapy was not successfully planted into society until June 2nd, 1950, when the NAMT was formed. This is the National Association for Music Therapy. And this made clinical research possible so we could start moving into music therapy and figuring out what it does and how we can use it to help people. 20 years later, the AAMT was founded, and this is similar, although it's they had different views on education and philosophy. And the AAMT stands for the American Association of Music Therapy. And their goal and their purpose was to progress the development of progress and healing in rehab, special education, and even in community settings using music education. So who does this? Music therapists. They hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and they have to go to one of 70 approved AAMT college programs. And they cover a very wide variety of things in their studies. And some of those include addictive disorders, developmental disorders, educational settings, geriatric settings such as nursing homes with the elderly. They go through mental health things and personal disabilities and physical disabilities. Here's an interesting fact. Music therapists must not only have a degree in music therapy, but they must have 1,000 hours of clinical studies before they're allowed to meet with clients. So the steps in this process are, there are 6 short steps in the process of music therapy. And the first one is referral and acceptance. You will be referred to a music therapist based on what your problem is, what you're going through, and then you will be accepted upon specific criteria that you meet. The second step is the assessment, and this is where you and your therapist will sit down and you'll go over the services that are available to that and what you will do in order to fix what's going on. And the third step is called the program planning, and it goes hand in hand with the second step because it's an individualized program that they sit down and they write out for you. So say I have autism. My program is not going to be the same as someone else who has autism. It's going to be very individualized, and it's going to be met for just me. So that's really special about music therapy is it's very one-on-one, and it helps you personally. And the fourth step is information, and this is where they will deliver the services. This is where all of the sessions happen. This is where your therapy starts, and they'll do any kind of music therapy such as listening to lyrics, writing lyrics, learning how to play a musical instrument, learning how to read music, anything like that, and that's where this will happen. The fifth step is documentation. This is where they have to go by the state and federal regulations and write down what's going on inside your sessions and how you're being helped and what's going on and what you're learning and how you're moving forward. And the last step is termination. And once you've finished all of your sessions and you meet the criteria, then you will be released, and hopefully that's a good thing. William has autism. He goes to the music settlement every day to be in sessions with music therapists. From ages 4 to 16, he went to this place, and he has now obtained his fine and gross motor skills in his life, and he now has very stable life skills set in place. And this is just one example of a guy with autism who music therapy was able to transform his life. And so autism is very good with music therapy because it's an alleyway that's easily taken with people with autism because music is so adaptable, and it's a great medium for people with autism to go through this. Another thing is mental illness. this is for, this helps people in their communication and their expression, and they're able to develop relationships through this. Say, dealing with depression or things like that, music therapy will help you in that. And it will help you, you'll use music making, so you'll learn how to play an instrument maybe, or you'll do music listening where you'll listen to lyrics and have that be very therapeutic, or you'll even just do discussion based on what you've heard. And the last but not least is the elderly. And this is most interesting to me because a lot of times the elderly are the only ones who benefit mainly from music therapy because it's the only kind of therapy that works for them. They may not do well with medication, they may not do well with just regular counseling or being in the hospital all the time. So music therapy has been proven to help them most effectively because it's the only kind that works for them. So, through this, you've learned what music therapy is. Through extensive research and the usage of music to help people reach their goals, the therapeutic session has become a great way to overcome illnesses. And it started way back in the 1800s. So if it's been like that from then, we've moved on till now. It's becoming more and more recognized by people as a way to relieve stress and to relieve your illnesses. And certified professionals are working better to better themselves and to better you through this music therapy and through the necessary steps that are going to be taken. Many avenues of health problems, and most especially autism, mental health, and the elderly, are being helped by music therapy. So, if you have any more questions, you can go to www.musictherapy.org. Or if you're interested in finding a music therapist, you can go to find@musictherapy.org. Thank you. Yeah. You just scan yourself and click it.
Did you make the time on it?